Hold up, Diddy. Hit him with part two, son.
Hey everybody, we are back.
It's been a long time.
You shouldn't have left you. Shouldn't have left you
without a dope beat to step two, step two, step two.
It hasn't been a long time for me.
So, 1320 stuff, we are back, a new season, and you guys are gonna love this season. And some of you might get mad this season because it's gonna be kind of controversial at times, but what is life if you don't have some controversy? So, I am Darryl Scarbrough. You guys, many of you know me already. This is
RJ Carter.
Lindsey.
And I'm going to have Lindsey introduce our new additional fill-in, stand-in guest appearance. She's going to introduce our guest appearancer.
Well, you guys may remember her from last season. You didn't get to see her face, but we did call her, and she broke the men's heart with the truth about really what women be on, what be going on, you know. So this is my very, very, very best friend, the most amazing person in the world, incomparable. She's an amazing writer. She's on so many shows, I won't even take the time to try and name them all. But this will be a name that you all will know. It won't necessarily be because of 1320, but you met her here first. So
it wouldn't be because of 1320.
It would or it wouldn't
be? It will be. It's going to make her famous.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say she's been working a long time before this, and that may have something to do with it, but whatever. This is my best friend, Resheida.
Hi.
Welcome. So what are we doing today? What's the topic of discussion I'm looking for? It's probably going to be the battle of the sexes, and it's probably why we're sitting this way, because they're probably about to kill us, but it's all good, because I ain't got much input, so it's going to be them versus them. And
we got cups now.
Please stop drinking that like that.
We're the real.
Oh yeah, we're the real. We're the really real. So today, you guys, we are diving straight into the deep end of the pool, and we are starting with something that is always around, has always been around, has always been discussed, and is sometimes divisive. And so we want to dig into that and kind of just see where you all fall in this conversation. But today we are going to talk about the amazing topic of sex. SCX. Those of you that are elderly and you are sensitive, cover your ears. To all my church people, I love you guys so much. This may be the episode you turn off.
No, they having church anyway. They having sex anyway.
I don't know. Some of them.
No, they doing it. They doing it while service is going on, especially during
Whoa. Wait, are you saying
You were doing it in the pandemic?
He said with church been from the bed anyway.
Throughout this whole pandemic, they've been laying in the bed, getting it in, watching service. They mute the TV for a few days.
Well, that makes me have a question off top. You can have sex while you're here preaching?
Some can.
Can
you? Because you just...
I'm muted. I don't do any of that. I don't even...
You don't do none of that?
No, I'll be focused on the Lord. But come on, what's the subject? What's the topic?
We're talking about sex.
Oh, okay.
So you already opened the door. But we really are curious and trying to figure out, and one of the things I want to ask Lindsey and Resheida to kick this off, what do you all see as the value of sex today? What is it worth, so to speak?
Well, I think that's a difficult question because I don't think it's the same for everybody, right? I don't think that everybody views sex the same way. In my opinion, I think that sex is a form of like communication. It's a way to get to...
It's a conversation.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a communication, and communication is not always a conversation, verbal, but I do think that it is a tool used to connect with people. Now, whether or not we've trivialized it or whether or not we now treat it as very casual, I do think that that is the purpose of it, for you to connect with somebody and communicate with them, whether that is that you love them, whether that's that you really feeling them, whether it's, you know, whatever that communication is. I do think that is what's happening when you're having sex. Now, whether everybody values it the same, I mean, I think it's clear that we don't. You feel
Interesting.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Because you said, what is it versus today versus back in the day? I think time doesn't have a difference. I think gender, what we're trying to communicate by gender, may be different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a generational difference; it's a gender difference.
Sometimes, a lot of times, sometimes when you're not like on the same page with, oh, we're in a relationship and things like that. There has been times like, if someone ever has had a one night stand, right? And it's like,
Y'all, not us.
right,
Y'all.
all in the world have had a one night stand, where even like a woman is like, okay, I am, you know, wanting to have sex right now, but I need to feel like, even though you just met me, that you have feelings for me to even get aroused physically. But men will be like, you got a big butt, I'm ready, you know. And so it's
Really?
a communication.
Is that how it goes? Men
Sometimes.
a big butt and they're
Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's hard for like men to. I mean, they don't need emotion. Some men don't need emotion. I know some men do, but sometimes there's a woman who does, even though they are aroused at that time, and they need that affection, even though it's a one night stand. From
Yeah. I think it's like Miguel has a song called Pussy Is Mine. Right, that's the name of the song.
I told y'all.
Sorry.
It's
French
fine.
people.
We ain't
But
blaming them.
basically,
They got one.
the song is him saying to this woman, tell me that
It's mine.
is mine. Even though I know it's a lie. Even though I know that you're seeing other people and I'm seeing other people, in this moment, I need to feel like that's the case. Just for
No,
this
don't
moment.
lie to me. What we lying about?
But sometimes
You ain't never lied. You ain't never been like acting like it's more than what it is
I
in
am
that
a man
moment.
of God.
Ah.
I have never.
But you know, I think in those moments you're gonna say, whether you're male or female, you're gonna say what you need to say in that moment to please your mate in that time. So if she's like, say this to me or tell me you love me, you gonna whisper in her ear.
That,
I
no,
love
see, that's
you.
the time you're supposed
Like,
to be quiet. You're supposed to be quiet.
But you ain't gonna just stop in mid stroke and say, nah, but I really don't love you. So no,
Right.
maybe we need to
It's
stop.
called
You
don't
gonna
say nothing.
No.
That's when
But-
people promise too much and do too much in that moment.
But there have been cases that I've heard of where if in the middle
She's heard
of an orgasm, that ain't like a bad word. That's a clinical term. Orgasm. A guy say I love you, and it exacerbates the orgasm.
It might, but
But I'm
that's
saying,
when you get in
if
trouble.
She know that it is,
But
and she tell you to do it, do it.
But see, that goes back to my point.
Because y'all come back later and be like, remember you said? No, I don't remember that.
But
I
that
was
goes back to my
shaking.
point. If we can agree that during sex, there is a need to express more emotion than you actually feel, I think it's making the point that I was saying, is that sex is a form of communication and a form of connection. We attempt to trivialize it, but the fact that when you're in that moment with someone, saying things like that, expressing feelings, heightens the interaction, to me, proves the very base of what the point is. It is meant
But
for
if
you
the
to do with
words
someone
aren't
you're connected
true,
with.
is it real connection?
It's the whatever, it's the simulation that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, it's not a real connection, but the fact that I even need to do that in order for it to be as enjoyable as it can be, to me, proves that that's the point of it. And that we are trivializing it, or we are, perverting it in a way just to get off, versus using it for what its real intent is, which is to connect with somebody.
How do you all feel like it's been trivialized?
I mean, I think the concept of casual sex and just sleeping around. And I don't say that to say that you know, the only time you should have, I mean, yeah, probably, but.
Don't finish that statement.
Go ahead.
Like, why am I going to just do this with somebody just because they look good? It's like, dang.
So, and it's for everybody. Should sex be confined to marriage?
No.
I think so.
I think it should. The problem is there are so many factors to when I'm gonna get married. Like, oh, is my career all right? My money all right? All of that. And that has lately pushed us back in age. I'm now waiting until I'm 45 to have sex because I was 13 when my hormones kicked in. Now I got to wait 30 years? No. So at this point now I've had to do a different rubric with who I'll have sex with than marriage.
Do you say yes though? Why do you say yes?
I think that it should be confined to marriage because I think that the very base of like, if we get extremely technical, sex is for procreation, right? It's also a means of connection with a person. And I do think that is very serious. I don't think that it's something that you should just do with anybody. I think that you should do it with a partner that you're in love with and that you want to be with. Marriage, I think the look of that has changed over the generations. So, you know, right now, like Resheida said, to get married, there's so many more factors than they used when our parents were young, or our grandparents, or our, you know, great-great-grandparents were in marriage age. So I think so much is different now. So it's harder to say like it has to be 100% marriage, but I do think that like a committed relationship where it's just the two of you, I do think that it should be reserved for that.
What would you say, RJ?
I don't think that it should be reserved specifically for marriage. And they basically made the points. They say it should be, but they made points as to why it really should be.
Right.
Because, I mean, again, I do get you shouldn't be sleeping around with everybody, and you should be in a relationship or have some a building on something with somebody. I ain't saying I have to be a whole come just sleeping with anybody because you can. Because then again, it takes the meaning of that act away, and it's basically you just trying to bust a nut, you know. But again, to wait till marriage. What if I never get married? Does that mean I can't never have sex? You know.
So where do we put God in the new rubric?
He's everywhere.
You
I
know,
love him. So why would you make why would you do that? I can't control when you meet somebody and y'all like each other the same amount, and he like you, and y'all both ready to make the same commitment. Like all of that is so much. I can't control that, but we both want to have sex right now. That is way easier than get to marriage. And everybody ain't gonna get married.
No, everyone's not gonna get married. Okay, so what was you about to say, Lindsey?
I think that, I mean, let me just be like really deep. Because I do think that like sex and the joining of two bodies in some way is like a covenant. We've made a decision with one another. I think the problem that we run into is when both people aren't on the same page of what this means and what you want from the other person. If I feel like, man, I'm really feeling you and this is like a good connection and I think this could be more and I want to continue to explore and get closer to you, and you're thinking, dang, I'm having fun, this person is cool to be around, you know, I'm sexually attracted to them, I just want to have sex. If I don't know that that's what he feels and I'm thinking he's feeling what I'm feeling and he's thinking I'm feeling what he's feeling, that's where the problem lies. Because now we go into sex and we're both thinking in a different space as we're doing that. And I don't think that we're communicating the same thing to one another. So I do think that at the very least, you two need to be on the same page for what it is you're doing and what you're trying to get out of this. Because I feel like most of the problems come when y'all ain't really looking for the same thing. And she's thinking, oh, this could be love. And he's thinking, dang, I'm happy that I'm in this bed with you right now. And this is about to be a good time. That's where you...
So when do you have this conversation? Who brings it up? When should it be brought up to say, Yo, we naked, but real quick. let's
Probably before y'all.
Nobody gets naked without knowing. When you go over there, you know naked is coming.
Right.
Yeah, I think when you first start having those conversations, or let's say you meet somebody today and y'all plan to connect this weekend, if she say, come over for dinner, like you're inviting me to your house. So in my mind, I'm thinking we're going to have dinner and that's going to lead to your bedroom. Now, whether that's not
What
the case.
dinners you go to?
Huh?
Dinners lead to sex?
Yeah, all the
Dinners.
time.
Dinners.
Dinner.
Yeah, all the time. But I'm just saying, like, if
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is like, where you go eat
That's
at?
it. This is where the difference between me and the women come in.
no, because that might be her intentions as well. Let me invite, instead of us going out to dinner, let me invite him over for dinner because hey, she's like thinking I need some too. It's been a while.
But I guess I'm wondering, is that the prevailing assumption?
It's about the connection. You kind of know it's verbal and it's them non-verbals that
Okay.
you can pick up on. Throughout the course of dinner, we sitting across from each other and she's gazing and if that leg rubbed my leg under the table, like, come on now, we know what that means.
So then dinner didn't tell you. Her leg rubbing up against your leg told you.
Right, because dinner could truly
Be
just
dinner.
be dinner.
Why would I put in all that work to cook and saute and sizzle so that we can have sex? No, you taking me out so I can preserve myself.
You got to go out.
Go
to-
out, pay for me. Then, okay. Sure.
Okay, that's all. We got to come back to the pay. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. But you said, when do you have those conversations? If I've been courting you for some weeks and we've been on the phone talking, we've been texting, and there's some connection, and I'm feeling you feeling me, then it's okay to have those conversations about when we thinking we gonna do that, and it's okay to be upfront about it. That's the problem now because, like you said, there's no conversation about it. So, like Lindsay said, she's thinking one thing, I'm thinking one thing, and that's where disaster strikes.
So let's use a scenario. We're at dinner. She done cooked and sizzled, and we eating.
Yeah.
The leg come across, and you're like, oh, all right now. Is this the point that you say, so you want me?
No, because you know you don't have to say it then, because that foot on the leg lets you know. Or let's reverse it. Let's say we went out to dinner and I'm a gentleman and I take you back and I walk you to your doorstep, give you a hug, even a little kiss, and then you say, nightcap, you want some coffee? We all know what that means. That don't mean do you really want coffee to come in here and talk and then you go home. If you invite me in after I take you out to dinner, you invite me in.
I think
for
you'll
a
get us some
reason.
letters and some calls.
I think
'cause-
RJ is saying exactly what happens, but I think that is a problem because I don't think we have very open and candid conversations about sex or about what we want. Everybody is just bumping along. It's like, oh yeah, okay, we've been talking, we went out, there isn't any real and I think that's some difference between the generations before us where people were very like, I want to be married. Or I'm getting, that's the plan, and the plan is to have a family and XYZ, so people knew. Versus now, it's just very it's almost like if a woman says she want to be married, she low key, and I think we talked about this, a woman being very clear about, I want marriage, I want to be, have children. In some ways, she's looked at it's not positive. It's oh, that's
like
too
you
much.
too
You're
extra.
doing too
Like
much.
you
Right.
doing too much.
You can't just be very
Just go with the flow.
upfront. Hey, I don't want to date around. I'm not interested in casually dating a bunch of people. Women that say that or put that out there right away kind of get looked at as oh, that's too much.
By men.
Yeah, in general though too. I think that there is this idea that women should be a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more going with the flow versus being very hey, I'm not doing that.
Even if you watch Black Love, all of those couples, the women were like, I didn't want to get married. I wasn't thinking about it. And so, as somebody who
I'm
wants
to be
to get
honest,
married,
I think they'd be lying, but that's me.
and that's what I'm saying. As somebody
I
who
don't
wants to
believe
get
them.
married, I be looking at that so all y'all women didn't want to get married. All of y'all, and you just oh, and that's how I found it, which then starts to program in women's minds that you have to not want it to get it. So that's why you got all these women walking around I don't need no man, I'm good. I can do it, because they're trying to call it in.
Right,
Yes.
project
So,
some
yes.
this
So
facade.
pretend you don't want it and you think it's gonna come to you.
Because my pastor himself had this sermon and he said,
Who your
me and
pastor?
Bishop Omer is my pastor. And God did it. Anyway, he was like, men can sniff when a woman wants marriage too much. Like they can smell it. It's like a dog smelling like a woman. And he's like, and that makes us run.
Have you ever smelled marriage?
No, I don't know what that smells like. You got
Is
to.
it
You've
musky?
never met a
You've never
woman
met a woman
that you
with
were like,
Is it
oh
fragrant?
yeah.
You know,
Like
because
flowers,
women have
or
their
is it-
ways without verbally saying it to let it be known that that's what they really want.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but yeah. So
And then y'all run.
If that's not what
necessarily.
you want.
If that's not what you
So
want.
I also think that like we should be a little bit more upfront and just very clear, because the people that don't want it will run. And that's really the point. But I think as a woman, there is this, and you watch Black Love and it's like, well, no, he didn't want it. And then next thing I knew, he wanted it.
Yeah.
And then he came back. And so all of the women are like, well, maybe he'll come around, because that
Yes.
thing I saw was like, maybe they don't want it
So if I tell
originally.
him, beat it, he's gonna come back.
Well, that's also the, if it's yours, let it go.
No, that's stupid. That's not,
Yeah,
that's
and it'll
not-
come
that's
back
not-
to you.
Yeah.
That's only doves. Only doves do that.
But
Boomerangs.
all of this conversation leads back to effective communication and stating what you want up front and being
So
okay
again,
with
at that dinner, or she, hey, you want to come up for a nightcap? Do you then there say,
Like, oh, I'm
Do
about
you
to get
want
lucky.
sex?
No, you don't have to say it, because her ass inviting me in tells me that's what she wants.
but you're
No,
assuming?
But
What
that's
if-
not
I'm saying,
100%.
no.
So, listen,
I ain't
everybody.
saying you going in at a take it.
the,
You know
the
what?
thoughts and
little lesson
the
on
words
consent.
of RJ do not
No,
represent.
you're missing the point. She doesn't have to verbally say,
Yes, she does.
have sex with me, because
Do you know
So,
how
let
Me
me-
Too
let me-
started?
No. Let me
Bro,
rephrase
you about
this.
to get us-
Let me rephrase this. I took you to dinner. We had a great time. We danced. We drank. We ate. I take you to your door to give you a hug and a kiss goodbye, and you say, "Do you want to come in?" In my mind, that's telling me I'm being invited in because she want to get it in. Now we going in. It's going to just organically happen.
But how do you know she doesn't want you to just come in because she doesn't want time with you to end?
I get what you're saying.
I get what he's
RJ.
saying, but I'm just
because that
asking
is
from
how
the
it
other side.
happens. Like I don't think that you have to. I don't think that people are like, okay, can you come up? I want to have sex, because that's not
Right.
sexy. So it's kind of like this game. So he's going up with the mindset of I'm probably finna get some, but not that he's
I'm not
finna
about
get up
to
there
force
and
it.
No.
force it to happen.
But I completely understand what you all are saying. But you're saying communication is key. And we go into this ignorant. If you go into it and I'm using you for one thing and you are using me for something else, then that's where the conflict becomes
In
on
that
the other
I
side.
think
moment,
you should.
we're using each other for the same thing. Because you invite me up, telling me you feeling like you want something.
Not the same
Not
thing,
the same
RJ,
thing.
and that's the problem. That's
This
difference
the
between
first
men
date.
and women.
This the first date. Like you ain't inviting me up because
You
now
didn't
you
say it
see.
was the first date.
You said that
This
we've
the
been
first
talking.
date?
You
said
said
the-
we've been talking and courting and going out.
I think I'm mixing it all together.